Hello and welcome back. My name is Juditha. On this channel, we talk about all things mindset. We talk about your dreams, we talk about your goals, your insecurities. We talk about everything that you need to be able to create the life that you want, because I'm doing the same thing. So I'm just giving you all the tips that have been working for me. So today we are going to talk about how I am becoming the woman of my dreams. Like everything that I've been doing, that I'm still doing to become that girl and stepping into the identity of the higher version of you. Life just doesn't feel hopeless when you take responsibility for what is happening and what could happen next. Like it just feels like you have more control, right? And then it also feels as if like your responsibility is the things that you can control. You can't control other people. You can't always control how things go, but you can control how you react to them. And I started to just like think more about that. I started to really like try to cultivate that type of mindset. So I would like spend a lot of time building my faith in the unseen, because I feel like this world has done a really, really good job of helping us all forget who we really are and the power that we actually have. So I just spent a lot of time unlearning a lot. I spent time reprogramming my brain to believe that anything is possible for me. I spent time reprogramming my mind to know that like there's just so much more in my control than I thought, and I just focus on the things that I want to happen. I focus on the person that I need to be in order to have these things happen. And the more I focused on that, the more I was just concerned about being better. Like it didn't matter how somebody else was treating me. Like I have to worry only about who I am or who I'm being, and make sure that it's in alignment with the person I would need to be to have the future that I want to have. So I just made up my mind that if this is the life that I want to have, then this is the person that I need to be. And then I just started showing up as her. My top tips for becoming the woman of your dreams is, number one, be clear on the life that you want. Because when you're clear on the life that you want, it's easy to be clear on the person that you need to be to have it. Okay, but if you're uncertain, if you have no idea, that's okay too. If you really don't know like what your dream life is, if you have no idea what you would want to like spend the rest of your life doing or how you want your life to look, that's fine. Focus on how you want your life to feel, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. How do you want to feel 10 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now? Like you can start to feel those things now. So focus on that. Focus on the type of person that you would need to become to feel those emotions right now. You can also start to like just focus on yourself. Look at your relationships. Look at the criticism that you receive, the feedback that you receive about the type of person that you are. If you're in a relationship, just look at how you treat the other person. And not only that, but a lot of the times the person that you're with is a reflection of who you are, or they're just a reflection of certain things that are within you that you need to work on. That was a big thing for me. Like in my journey, my relationship, top tier, one of the top 10 things that helped me to grow is because I consistently was being shown who I was being through my own actions, through how I was treating my boyfriend, through how, through some of the arguments we would get into, through how I felt like I was being treated. So all those things are a big indication of who you are, right? You need to know who you are. Be aware. Like that's how you become more self-aware. You need to learn yourself. Learn what triggers you. Learn what makes you angry. Learn what makes you laugh. Learn what makes you feel at peace. Okay, learn those things. And I also just want you to remember that any time that you spend getting to know who you really are is never a waste of time. Okay, so if this takes you a year, if this takes you two, if you spend 2 years figuring out who you are, and at the end of those 2 years you finally know who you are, that time was not wasted. Okay, like this is what you're here for. Eventually you will be led to exactly where you need to be. Like that's exactly how it was for me. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew what I did not want to do. Okay, I graduated from college. I was like, I don't want to work for nobody else, not for a long time at least. Like I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I knew that immediately. Okay, and because I knew that and I had no idea what I actually wanted to do, I just started to learn myself more. Like I said, I just became obsessed with becoming the best version of me possible for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my boyfriend. Like I just wanted to be the best. And as I focused on that, like I eventually got led to different things that I thought I wanted. And every time I tried something, like whether it be I started a business or I tried something new, like whatever it is, I learned something from it. I either learned that, you know what, this is not the way I want to do this, or, you know, this is not something I would see myself doing in the long run. So everything that I've done up until this point, it led me here, and I wouldn't take back any part of it because I had to learn, I had to experience those things to get to know more about who I am really, right? Because experience will teach you who you are. As you go through things, even the things that you think you want, sometimes you experience them and you're like, oh fuck, like I don't want this. Like this is actually not me. And that's okay, because if you're in that position, you are right where you need to be. The next step is to just figure out from there, well, what do I actually want? And then start to become the person, become that dream woman who can attain the things that you want and maintain them as well. And every test that you experience along the way is just meant to sharpen your mental capacity to become that person. Nothing is meant to punish you. And like I said earlier, like you have to try to see the world through a lens that everything is always happening for you. The universe is always working with you. Like everything that you are going through is for a reason. It's to make you stronger. When you ask for patience, there will be plenty of opportunities for you to practice patience, but you have to put on the lens where you see the world that way. Okay, and that is, like I said, that's not something that could be given. It's something that you yourself have to accept and then try to believe as much as possible. Another thing that you want to do to become the woman of your dreams is to be very aware of the way that you react to situations. Like, how do you react when things don't go your way? How do you react when you're arguing with someone you love? How do you react when something happens at your job? Because your reactions to things will also tell you who you are, right? They'll tell you what you need to work on. It's also like the number one way to see if you've changed, because when your reactions to things change, that's when you know you've changed. And that's a big indicator that you can really look at. If you want to know how much you've changed, just look back at how things used to trigger you that don't trigger you anymore. Like that's how you know you've changed. When you handle your money issues differently, when you handle work stress differently, when you handle relationship stress differently, or just like any obstacles that come up in life in general, like when you start to handle those things differently, that's when you know you've changed, okay? And that's when you know you're stepping into that higher version of you, the version of you that you want to be in order to create that life that you want to have. Another tip is that you want to be mindful about the people you spend the most time with, because if you don't spend time with people who are doing big things, and when I say big things, I just mean like people who are doing things that are in alignment with the things that you want for yourself. Like if you're friends with people who have no discipline, no consistency, no ambition, like nothing, like they are just mediocre and they're okay with that. And I'm not here to judge. Like I feel like any life that someone chooses is up to them as long as they feel happy. But if you know that you don't want the things that the people around you have, then I wouldn't hang around them as much, because you are always going to behave in some ways like the people you're around, right? And another way to tell if you're evolving is when the friends you used to hang with, they either just don't get who you're becoming, right? Or slowly but surely you lose interest in them. Like you don't want to hang out with them anymore. Like the conversations that you would have with them, like they just no longer entertain you, because you realize that life is so much more than that. And hanging around with small-minded people will kill big dreams. Like they will. So be very aware of who you choose to spend time with. The next tip is you have to be willing to remind yourself of the person you need to become. So once you know the life that you want, it's very clear. For example, I know the life I want. Like ultimately, my dream is to travel the world and speak internationally and just be requested all over the world. Like that's my dream. And in order to be that person, I have to become someone who can feel fear and like do the thing anyways. I have to be someone who gets out of their comfort zone very often. I have to be someone who knows how to socialize. I have to be someone who understands the minds of people because of the things that I want to teach. So because of the goals I have, what I do every day is I work on becoming that person. I work on embodying that version of me as much as possible. Like before I record these videos, I'm not thinking to myself like, oh, I'm about to record a video for my little YouTube channel. I'm like, no, I'm about to record a video that's taking me one step closer to the national TV show that I could have one day. Or I'm about to record a video for my YouTube channel that it will eventually be seen by millions. Like, I'm not thinking small. I'm thinking like the version of me that has already been there, that is already doing it, right? Because then when I think like that and I step in front of this camera, what comes out of my mouth is going to be completely different than if I stepped in front of this camera being shy, you know, feeling like a beginner, feeling like an imposter, like I don't know what to say, like I don't know how to help you. Like, if I thought that about myself, the way I showed up in front of this camera would be completely different, right? But I have to show up in a certain way in order for you to believe in me, and in order for you to borrow my belief to believe in yourself too, right? So with these goals that I have, this is the type of person that I have to become. And I'm committed to becoming this person because I know that the life that I want, like, it requires me to be this person, and I'm okay with that. So if you are willing to risk the safety of your comfort zone, if you are willing to give yourself grace to grow into someone new, right? Because you've been this person here for so long. So if you're willing to do those things, then it's inevitable that you will have the life that you want. You just have to be willing to consistently remind yourself, be willing to consistently step into it every time you fall out of it, right? And that's a part of the process. You learning to be consistent and disciplined in that way is a part of the process. So you can't make it mean anything when you fuck up. You can't make it mean anything when you fall off, because name one person that hasn't. Anyone who has done anything great, anyone who is successful, has at one time or the other had to battle the same things that you're going through right now, right? You can't feel, you're not special. So don't feel like you're the only one who has to go through shit in order to make it to the other side. Like, that's how it is for all of us, okay? When we ask for a great life, when we ask for big things, when we have big goals and dreams, the test will follow immediately, okay? Because when you ask, it is given. You just have to be the type of person to perceive the time in between where you are and where you want to be as the journey that you need to literally step into that highest version of you who attain the goals, right? Who not only has what you want, but also has the mindset to maintain it, grow it, scale it. Like, you have to trust in that process. And it's not always easy, but it is simple. Okay. So if you can't believe in that right now, you have to try to find a way to believe. I talk about this on this channel all the time, but your beliefs your beliefs will make or break your life. It will make or break who you become. It will make or break the life you're living 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Like, this world is so brilliant in that you get to choose what you want to believe. Every belief that you have can be in service to the life that you want. Like, your beliefs are the number one thing that are going to get you to where you want to be. So if you have a life that you want to live, then start believing in the things that you need to believe in order to have that life. Start believing in the possibility of it, right? Because we have a tendency to easily believe that things aren't possible, when in reality, it's a 50-50 chance. Like, the things that you want is a 50-50 chance. There's a 50% chance that you can have it, that you could totally create this dream life. And then there's a 50% chance that you will fail miserably, right? Now, what determines where you are on that scale is your ability to take action, your ability to never give up, your ability to learn and grow. If you have those abilities, if you develop those skill sets, if you develop that mindset, like, it's inevitable that you will have what you want. You just can't fail. Failure cannot cope with perseverance. It cannot cope with persistence. So you get to keep going. And anything that you go through, it might slow you down, but it won't stop you. That's something that you need to remember. When it comes to becoming your dream girl, becoming the version of you who can have that dream life, like, these are the tips that I would highly recommend. These are the things that I'm doing. These are the things that I have done to make it this far. Choose the type of life that you want to live. Choose the type of person that you need to become to live that life, and then say no to everything that isn't that, okay? That is it for today. I hope you bloomed because I know I did, and I will see you guys on the next one.